you're not meant to do one thing in life. Try many things in life. The guy or even the woman that shops here knows if they buy a piece here that no one else in Toronto will be wearing that piece. Like, oh my God, what did I just waste our money on?
I work a lot more than I used to when I used to work for companies. But again, I don't even call it work. If we make a fuck up, for example, on a collection, we're not gonna get to see the changes and fixing that until 6 months or a year later.
What I would like to present to the person out there who is going to ask the best question to AREA+001, I'd like to bring you over to this collection over here.
Let's do a little tour. Could you please show us a bit? What brands do you have? Which brands do you like the most?
Okay.
What are some of the brands?
Maybe we'll do two brands each.
2 brands each, all right?
That we like.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, here we go. So this is one of our top brands here from Paris, France, APC. This brand has been around since 1987, and they sell everything from essentials like t-shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies to beautiful slacks and jean jackets to even some nice tailored goods like this blazer over here. Yeah, one of our favorite collections here is definitely APC, and one of our most profitable brands as well. You know, this isn't something necessarily that Jacob and I would wear, but the customers love it, and it's a timeless collection that people really enjoy. And then right over here, this brand is Etude, and Etude means study in French. This brand is really cool, does a lot of fun collaborations. Yeah, it's one of our top brands as well.
And do you have any like underappreciated brands that people still don't know really, but you like them?
Well, that's a great thing about having a boutique and working with brands that people aren't familiar with. You get to educate them, you get to teach them, right? Because some of these brands we work with are very popular overseas or in Asia or in the States or in Europe, right? So people come to us because they want to learn about new brands. You know, they're tired of wearing the same thing that you can buy in a shopping mall, right? So they come to us, you know, they just got paid and they got that CERB check. They want to come in and they want to spend it and they want to put together a nice outfit. Jacob and I, we created AREA+001 almost 3 years ago now. It's a concept boutique in the heart of downtown Toronto, and we sell men's fashion.
So you started in 2018, right?
That is correct.
And what was your initial need that you saw existed at that time that you thought AREA+001 would fulfill?
Well, first and foremost, Jacob and I, we're huge consumers. We love to shop, and we've shopped all over the world, everywhere from Paris to Tokyo to New York to Milan. And Toronto is a great scene, great fashion, but we felt it was missing something. We felt that it was missing some of these beautiful brands from Europe, from Asia, from the United States, and that's how we created AREA+001. And if you want to talk about the name is the country code plus 0001. So if you travel across overseas, you have to type plus 0001 to call Canada.
Yeah, that's interesting. And do you sell somewhere else except Toronto?
We only sell in Toronto and online. We sell internationally online, and we ship all over the world.
So having this beautiful spacey shop in downtown and also having an online store, where do you guys have more sales? Is it online or in store?
Majority of the sales we do is in store. You know, Sergio and I love interacting with clients face to face. Most of the people that within the first 3 years that are coming in are people that we know. They're either his clients or my clients from the past, and they want to come see us in person. Although we know that online also is the future, so you know, we're developing an online business. You know, working a lot on it, and yeah, we know that's gonna be the future. So that's gonna be a little bit more of the balance, I think, over the next 2 years, where it's gonna shift a little bit more towards online.
So when you were starting, you didn't have an online store. You started recently.
Well, we started right away with an online store, but it takes some time to develop it.
And for the business people who are just starting, who are working in the direction of creating stores, what's the approximate turnover in the business like that?
Jacob?
You mean financial?
Yeah.
Or you're probably going to end up breaking even within 2 years. Sergio and I are fairly smart, we believe, when it comes to finances and planning. So for us, it was much faster than that. The way we kind of put everything on paper was to operate this business with a very, very low expense plan. We don't have any staff. We don't really have a lot of external expenses aside just from the operational costs. So we were basically, turning profits generally almost from like the first year.
And we don't have any investors either. It's just Jacob and I.
Got it. And so it's still a small business, right?
Yes, absolutely.
It's less than $1 million.
Oh yeah, it's still a small business.
Got it.
And it takes a lot of work. My advice to young entrepreneurs is just to create a lot of content. The more content you have, the more you're going to attract people to come visit you, no matter what you do, no matter what your business is, just keep pumping out content.
And just to comment more on that, it's like our business just made sense on paper before any of the creative aspect and even fashion was involved into it. Like we made sure that everything made sense on paper with, our future financial plans and cash flow projections, all that type of stuff, and it did, and everything's kind of pretty much falling into place very well since then.
So you started in 2018, and who were Sergio and Jacob before that? How did you guys meet, and how did you end up in fashion business?
Oh, Jacob and I have known each other for a very long time, since 2004, yeah. But Jacob's always been in the fashion business, and for me, I've always been in the hospitality business. So, he's worked with Saks Fifth Avenue, Gucci, and a lot of other high-end boutiques, whereas I've worked with a lot of the top nightclubs here in Toronto and New York as well. So
when we basically founded this business, even though we opened in 2018, the initial plan started in 2015, 3 years before that. As Sergio mentioned, I've done retail, menswear on the higher end levels since 2003. I've worked with a lot of companies, but I've also done independents, just as a manager, as a buyer. And a prior business that I worked for before this was the one that kind of gave me the idea to do it on my own as an entrepreneur. And that's when, Sergio and I kind of collaborated on it right after that and said, I said, we can absolutely do this.
So you were a manager in the clothing stores before?
I was a manager and a buyer for an independent store. And that led us to have some of the contacts with some of the brands like Rick Owens that we have in store, which are, very challenging brands to get. But because of my past experiences and the contacts that we had with them, we were able to get it within our store right off the bat.
Yeah, like a lot of the brands you see in our store, they're very exclusive to us, or maybe to a very select few boutique shops in Toronto. And most of these brands only operate that way. So you won't see them in many other stores.
So, Jacob, you mentioned buyings. So for a person like me who doesn't understand how really clothing stores work, so I assume you go to fashion weeks where you do the buyings. Yeah. And how could you please elaborate a bit about that? Yeah.
Well, I mean, the level of collections we work with, such as Rick Owens, Marni, APC, they show in Paris, which is the last week of the fashion calendar, and we basically just work directly with the brands in their showrooms. We place our appointments. We go, we see the seasonal collection, so everything we buy 6 to 7 months ahead of time. We place our orders, and then the deliveries come usually 6-7 months after that.
And the great thing is we get to travel to Paris twice a year, and New York twice a year, because that's where we do all our buying. It's either New York or Paris. And you get invited to go to all the fashion shows, you sit front row, you get to see all of the beautiful new designs that are coming out for the next season. And then of course you have to go to all these showrooms and purchase your selections.
And how is it happening right now?
Well, right now, because of COVID, everything's online. So we do all our buys online, and they do virtual shows, they do virtual buys. So you get to see it on the model, you get to see how it looks. And it's a challenge working with new brands because you don't get to see how it feels and how it fits. But the brands that you have already been working with, it's quite easy.
So is it like a live video? Somebody's recording and just
streaming,
right?
It's a live video. It's very similar to a Zoom call. The representative from the brand will be there and walk you through the collection, show you every piece, and if you like it, you say, I'll take that one, I'll take that one, I'll take that one, and so on.
So anybody can come to this show, or is it invitation based?
It's invitation. You have to either have a boutique. That's it.
You have to be a buyer or somebody, a buyer or somebody that's in the media, a journalist, a writer,
Or
a stylist,
or a celebrity who wears the
or a
brand.
celebrity. Yeah, I mean, like a show like Rick Owens, for example, right? And these are very, very high production shows that cost anywhere from $1 to $3 million for shows. And there'll be a few hundred people that are invited, but you got to imagine that it's the entire fashion world that's coming to Paris. So there's only be, a certain amount of people that they're going to give an invitation to the show.
Oh yeah. So it's either you're a buyer, we were there and, sitting across from us was the Migos, so you'll see celebrities like that.
Wow.
Yeah. or like an NBA player.
And if you, for example, starting entrepreneur, you just have an online clothing store. Is there any way to get to those fashion weeks to do the buyings?
If you're working with those brands, absolutely. I mean, if you're a buyer and you work with the Rick Owens or you work with APC or any of the brands we work with, like Marnie, for example, then yeah, you're going to get invited to the show.
So is there any minimum amount of units that you should buy from the brand?
Yeah, every brand you work with has its select minimum.
Yeah. Some brands do, some brands don't. I'll tell you, like on the level of we work in, at the wholesale, you're pretty much some of the bigger brands, you're looking anywhere from 12 to 15,000 euros at wholesale. Some brands don't have any minimums, some will buy a lesser amount.
And some have more.
And some have more.
And it really depends on the size of your store. So if you're a huge department store, you're going to have to buy more. If you're a smaller boutique like ours, then it's a little less.
Yeah, I mean, there was a brand that we were speaking with last season, which is very, very, very well known in fashion, huge following. And their expectations were to open up to us, but they wanted 50,000 euros a season. Right? So with those kinds of numbers, I said, we're not working with that kind of numbers. And
it's too much.
And no store in Toronto is working with those types of numbers.
So even if you starting with an online store, you need the capital to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
What was your initial investment into this business?
Jacob, roughly?
Roughly, it was close to 200,000. It was pretty much 40% was our own personal cash investment, and then the balance we did through our financial institutions. I think one of the most important things that we wanted to do with this business is not to have any investors, which basically means no outside influence on our business. We wanted to start this on our own, finance it on our own, and build it on our own, with complete creative and financial control over everything, and that's exactly how it's been going. And that's something that I learned from being involved in prior businesses where you do have an investor and things can just go south within a year and a half.
It seems good at first because you have somebody who's investing all this money, and then this person could be a nightmare to deal with.
Wow. And so you mentioned that the turnover of the return of the investment is in approximately a year and a half.
Yeah, roughly 2 years. It could take longer for some people. It really depends. You're always going to keep investing into your business as well.
Yeah, that's a big investment. And did you have any knowledge and business knowledge? So you mentioned you were a manager, and what about you?
Yeah, I've owned restaurants before, nightclubs before, and I've just operated with cash flow before. You know what I mean? You're in any business, you're going to have to keep investing, and especially to stay relevant.
Yeah, any year-end profits or seasonal profits at the end of the year, we just invest right back into the business. So there's never a situation where it's like, if there's a surplus at the end of the year, we pay ourselves a profit or a split that we don't. Everything goes back into the business to grow the inventory.
Oh yeah,
like
you always want to buy more.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you buy more in retail, when you buy more, you make more.
Who's in charge in marketing in your team?
We both are. We're in charge of everything. We do everything ourselves.
So there are no other people in your
No,
team?
like we have an incredible photographer that we work with, and she does all our photography, she does all our e-commerce, and we have an incredible graphic designer who does all our graphics and stuff for our website and our social media as well. But other than that, it's just Jacob and I.
Yeah, and that's the great thing because my background obviously is in retail, right? So I knew all about buying and sales and all that, and Sergio's background was marketing. And we kind of had our roles early on, how we started with everything, where I focused mostly on this, he focused mostly on that, and we kind of learned from each other, and now we've kind of molded into this thing we both work on everything together.
And what promotional channels do you use?
We use all social platforms. So everything from Instagram to Twitter to Facebook to LinkedIn to Shopify to Snapchat to TikTok. We use it all.
So you mean like paid ads or just having like...
We'll do some Instagram ads every once in a while, But we really like to put our money into content and inventory. You know, bring in new inventory, shoot it on a model, and pump it out.
And that's working.
It works very well. You know,
So
people want to see, people want fresh things to look at. When people are on their phone, and they're on their phone more than ever now because of COVID-19, people are on their phones. And if they see a nice image, you know, I had a client today, he saw two nice things, two nice sweatshirts, and said, can I order these? I said, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks to social media, you know, you can operate a business with almost no marketing costs at all. And that's one thing that I would encourage to any entrepreneur, is that you don't have to really be concerned too much with marketing costs. Because, you know, you have all these great social platforms that, you know, put you in touch with your client. You can market your products at absolutely no expense.
Very important to use social media. You know, a lot of people, I don't understand why they don't use these social platforms. It's free. You should be on Instagram every day. You should be on Facebook every day. You should be using Twitter every day and promoting your brand, promoting your business. It's free.
Do you collaborate with any influencers or people from Toronto?
No, we don't really work with any influencers, because most of the people that shop here, they are influencers. You know, they are trendsetters, they are tastemakers. So we really don't need to work with them because they're shopping here.
Yeah, they're not going to look at somebody else's Instagram and say, oh, just because so-and-so is wearing that, I want it. You know,
Yeah.
it's not how they think.
Or people will look to see what we're wearing. You know what I mean? And you know, sometimes that's the best marketing. When a customer walks in, oh, I like the jacket you're wearing, or I like the pant you're wearing, and that's it.
And so how would you?
Quick question.
Yeah.
Your social media includes a lot of political
Yes.
views and stuff.
So right now,
Does this kind of connect to your brand, or it's just like what you do separately?
no. So right now, my social media involves a lot of politics because of the climate of the world today. And as you know, most places around the world are locked down, and I'm a heavy advocate of anti-lockdown. I don't believe we should be locked down. That doesn't mean I'm an anti-COVID or an anti-masker or an anti-vaxxer. I'm just an anti-lockdown kind of guy, and I feel like we've been locked down for a year. It's time to move on. It's time to adapt. You know, we know the disease is serious. Let's focus on the long-term care homes, and let's focus on the old people and making sure they're healthy and making sure they don't die. But we can't lock down the world.
Absolutely.
And I think this just shows just how out of touch politicians are with basically with the industry. Because if you're a politician, you know, you're Doug Ford right now, and if you were to walk through all these streets and watch all these retail operations, you know, you gain a sense, it's okay, I don't think there's any harm in terms of letting these stores operate, but yet, you know, they locked down retail for 3 months. They locked everything down for 3 months.
They locked everything down.
You know, for political reasons, you know, whatever your business is, whether it's for re-election or for whatever purpose, but it was just completely unnecessary, particularly like the restaurant industry as well has suffered
The
greatly.
hospitality business
there was
completely
no need
shut down.
to close those businesses down.
Barber shops, salons, tattoo parlors, gyms, they're all shut down. You know, and during these times, you know, the prime minister, the premier, the mayor, they're all collecting paychecks. They're all traveling. So why is it okay for them to travel? Why is it okay for them to get paid when everyone else is locked down?
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I've been very political on my social media. I think it's important as a business owner, especially a small business owner and an influencer, to use my platform, to use my voice, to talk about these issues, because there's a lot of small businesses out there and a lot of entrepreneurs out there that don't have a social platform, that can't use their voice. So I have to be their voice.
Absolutely, yeah. And how did you survive the COVID, the lockdown?
You know, you just make it work. You just make it work. You know, you're very transparent with your landlord. You're very transparent with the brands you work with, and you know, just got to be transparent. Let them know.
Yeah, I think for us, when this thing first started a year ago, we kind of had to see what the challenges are going to be. We had to kind of take a look at our business and see what changes we had to do. We knew that a lot of, you know, time we're going to be closed. We knew we had to focus on enhancing our communication with our clients more electronically rather than personal. We knew we had to, you know, change our online business and our promotions for that heavily. And we did all that, and that's where we, you know, ended up surviving, is because we made those adjustments early on. and we got through the first lockdown. And when the second lockdown happened, which was almost 3 times as long as the first one, we already had a system in place how to operate during lockdown. So we knew how to do this.
We were prepared.
We were prepared, and it was just basically just executing what we did in April and May, the last 3 months.
And did the demand for high-end fashion went down during this period?
Not at all,
No.
because as much as a lot of people were affected, a lot of people weren't affected. A lot of people were still making money and doing very well in life. And not only that, people find joy in shopping. People find joy in walking into a retail store, ordering something online that makes them feel good, and people aren't going to restaurants, people aren't traveling, so they've got extra money.
What is your perspective on education? Do you still think that colleges, universities, the classic form of education is still the most effective one?
Well, for me personally, I did not go to university or college. I've always had that entrepreneur mindset, and I'm a firm believer in making the right connections and networking with people and knowing the right people and just experimenting. You know what I mean? Keep trying new things. You're not meant to do one thing in life. Try many things in life. And that's one thing they don't teach you in school. In school, they always ask you, what do you want to be in life? What do you want to do? How are you supposed to know? You might want to do this one year, you might want to do this another year. There's many chapters in life, so do as much as you can.
I personally went to college for fashion marketing and merchandising, which taught on the business side. And from my perspective, what I learned was very applicable in terms of what I do in retail. A lot of the entrepreneur stuff we just learned on our own. Everything I learned in terms of sales and how to manage inventory, all the practical stuff, I learned just from experience, right? So I gained a little bit of, insight into how to operate a business through my education. But again, I personally believe that overall the education system, I think, is a little bit outdated in some ways in terms of applying it to current industry.
Would you say that all this knowledge you could get then from online courses, YouTube videos,
Without a doubt.
just from internet?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Even knowing the right people, you can learn so much.
Without a doubt.
If someone's willing to give you a chance and teach you, you can be an intern. You can go out and be an intern for someone. You can learn so much. To me, that's the best school you can get. Not to knock school. School's good for some people, and it's not good for other people.
Yeah.
I mean, to be an entrepreneur, I firmly believe that I think the best way to do it is just to learn a practical sense. If you're a brain surgeon, you got to go to school.
Yeah.
You're a certified accountant or a lawyer, you got to go to school.
Yeah, you have to take those courses.
But, I think that a lot of jobs out there, I think that practical learning through experience is more beneficial.
Yeah. Depends on the industry.
If you want to
Without a
if you want to learn about
Yeah.
fashion, go live in New York, go live in Paris, go live in London for a year.
So that's your recommendation.
Oh
for people who
yeah,
want to be
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
fashion. All right.
Watch videos, like you said, watch YouTube videos. You can learn so much from YouTube now.
And you also mentioned entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
So from the people, from your network, from your surrounding, do you see any common traits in successful entrepreneurs? Is there anything that unites them? Is it the drive or the mindset?
Yeah, I find that Toronto in general have a lot of entrepreneurs, and everybody's hungry and everybody just has that. It's like you said, everybody has that similar mindset to succeed and be successful and just do stuff they love. You have to be passionate about what you like and what you do. And if you're passionate about what you do, you will succeed eventually.
So it's passion, it's probably consistency.
Consistency, you're gonna work very long hours. There's times where you just don't shut off your brain, and you're working around the clock. But like I said, if you like doing what you do, it's not even gonna seem like work.
And so you mentioned working long hours, and I also noticed that on YouTube, a lot of entrepreneurial influencers, they mention that you should be really focused, really consistent, sleeping less, working 22 hours a day without any weekend, pretty much becoming robots.
Like I said, to me, it's not being a robot, because once again, if you like what you do, then you're not really giving up a weekend. To me, whether it's Friday or Monday. I enjoy Mondays. I love Mondays because it's a fresh start of a new week and you get to set new goals. Some people work 9-to-5 jobs, and once again, nothing wrong with a 9-to-5 job, but some people don't like what they do, and that's why they really enjoy Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They enjoy those days off because they don't like working, and then they're dreading going back to work on a Monday. When you're an entrepreneur and you own your own business and you love what you do, it doesn't matter if it's Sunday. It doesn't matter if it's Friday night. It doesn't matter if you're missing out at the bar. You know, you enjoy what you do, so it doesn't seem like work.
Yeah, I think it's also just very personal. Like you said, you know, entrepreneurs are encouraged to work 20 hours a day. You know, it's very personal to each. I mean, for me personally, you know, I work a lot more than I used to when I used to work for companies. But again, I don't even call it work, right? Because sometimes I'll be up at 2 a.m. researching new collections to bring into the store. It's not work.
It's exciting.
It's exciting, you know, and to do that and have it part of your job is probably the most rewarding feeling you can have.
And mentioning passion and excitement about
Yeah.
your work, do you think that the person should be really passionate about the exact field where he or she wants to build a business, or just know the process, be excited about marketing, and just seeing an opportunity?
I think it's very personal. I think there are entrepreneurs that are motivated by money and will be very successful and will gain a passion for the project. And I think there are other people that are just motivated by the project itself. Me personally, I am motivated by the project itself and fashion and just building a world-class boutique. That's what drives me, right? So I firmly believe if you're good at something and you have incredible passion for it, you're going to be successful.
And you mentioned building a world-class boutique. So that was your initial vision.
Yeah.
Was it there like any specific goals, like anything measurable that you were trying to achieve when you were just starting?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was, you know, it's like 50-50. 50% of it is you want to be financially successful and build a successful business on the money side. And the other part of it is the creative side. You want to kind of look at your business in a third person from that perspective. And I say to myself, if I was a customer looking on our website, you know, what would the perception be? And I want that perception to be on par with the best stores in Canada, the US, and the world. And that's what we're working on here, season by season.
So if to compress all your 3 years of experience of working on this brand into one paragraph, what would it be like? What were your ups and downs, biggest breakthroughs and biggest fuck-ups?
Oh, that's a good question. Do you want to go first?
I mean, I think that we are in a very challenging business more than any other field because of the infrastructure of fashion and retail. So if we make a fuck up, for example, on a collection, we're not going to get to see the changes and fixing that until 6 months or a year later.
Especially now with COVID-19, you have to buy online. So you could be working with a new collection and it might look good online, and then you get it in the store and you're like, oh my God, what did I just waste our money on?
Yeah, because we usually buy something, like we're going to be going at the market for, like we actually just finished market right now. So whatever we bought in January, February, we are receiving in July, August, right? So there's a 6 month, you know, break right there. And then we're going to be selling those collections for 6 months after that. And then we're doing another buy on those same new brands in June. So before you can make any edits, you literally have to wait a year. So I think the biggest thing is from the beginning is coming to terms with that, knowing how the infrastructure of this industry works. And you have to be very, very careful in early on knowing that the repercussions can take a year to fix.
You can't make any mistakes.
And did you have any of those situations?
Oh, you always have those situations. With no matter what you do, no matter what your business is.
I think about 13 of them.
Oh, you're going to have a lot of mistakes, you know. But it's not about how many mistakes you have. It's how you recover from them and how you grow. You know.
It's like, you ever hear all those sayings that you hear people saying, you know, it's not, you know, how hard you fall, but how you get up, all those types of things. And all those types of sayings just completely ring true in being an entrepreneur in life, 100%.
Oh yeah.
And also, what were your breakthroughs, if there were any? or it's just like a
Oh,
stable business? that
There were
you-
many breakthroughs in this business, the fashion business. You know, once you prove yourself and once you pay your dues, you get to work with new brands that are on a high level. Because when you first open a store, you're not really in that category to be working with these brands. You have to put in that work.
And we've done that in some of the collections we've locked down for the next season coming in for fall winter 21. A brand such as J.W. Anderson, which is a massive, massive fashion brand out there, and that's going to be starting with us for next fall as well. And that was a 2-year conversation with that brand, because they're very particular over other brands you have in the store. They want to be next to certain brands because you know fashion is, there's a lot of perception and image out there, and that's who they want to be next to.
They only want to work with the best.
They only want to work with the best.
So the growing in this business, it comes with the brands that you buy.
Comes with the brands, comes with experience, comes with the clients. It's a mixture. You know, your e-commerce, your online store has to be top notch. It takes a while to develop that. It's all, you have to go through a lot of growing pains to achieve that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're also a great example of a partnership.
Yep.
And there are plenty mixed opinions about partnerships. Starting a business with your friend. Did you ever had any challenges? And what are some tips and advices?
If you're getting into business with your friend, you just have a lot of patience, and you have to learn to separate the friendship from the business relationship and not take things personal. You know, you can't get into this business or any business if you're too sensitive, or, you know, you just got to be strong.
A very successful entrepreneur himself, I'm not going to mention names, who was involved in a prior business that I was involved in, mentioned to me before I started this, he said, "You're getting into business with one of your best friends." He goes, "You're out of your mind, you're nuts, it's not going to work." Right? Frankly, I did not listen to him at all. Right? And we went in ahead, and Sergio and I probably have one of the best business partnerships that you can have.
The top seller, though, would be hoodies and track pants. People love designer hoodies and designer track pants, you know, like this piece over here from Etude. Beautiful collaboration with an American photographer, Roe Etheridge, one of our top sellers. Yeah, an exclusive to AREA+001.
So nobody's selling it.
Nobody's selling this. Look at this shirt. If you want to zoom in onto the details, look at that.
So do you have any competitors?
We don't really look at any other boutiques as competitors, because we're just focused on ourselves.
You're selling different brands, right?
Even if we share some of the same brands, we share some of the same brands with some stores. We don't even look at it as competition. We just focus on us and being successful and building our client relationships.
Yeah.
That's all we care about.
The industry's changed so much. You know, when I started out in this in the early 2000s, you had serious competition. You know, the fact that, and again, I'm going to revert back to social media has, and the internet altogether has changed everything, where independent boutiques are able to kind of formulate their own niche, their own image, their own personality online, and they click with customers, where basically everybody just kind of operates in their own kind of way. And even though we cross over with other, you know, stores in terms of brands, we have our own clients, you know, our own, you know, perception of who we are, and like I said, we don't really call it as competitors. You know, it's just a different business doing the same kind of industry.
The more retail in Toronto, the better. You know, we would love to have as much retail as New York one day, or Tokyo. You know, they're not worrying about competitors over there, and we shouldn't worry about competitors over here.
Retailers these days, particularly boutiques like us, everyone has their own identity these days. You know, and customers can see that, and they kind of click with each of those identities.
So would you say that your brand has its own culture?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Is
without a
there any
doubt.
way you can describe it?
It's very minimal. We have a very minimal aesthetic here. People like coming in here because it's not crowded. It's not over. It's not full of merchandise. You know, they come in here, and we bring in these exclusive goods that you can't find anywhere else in the city. So they know that they can count on that. The guy or even the woman that shops here knows if they buy a piece here that no one else in Toronto will be wearing that piece. And that's what makes us special.
So So that's your unique selling point.
Yeah, and I
That's
think
right.
I think it's the interaction, the fact that it's just Sergio and I that operate the store, like we are the
Also
sales
the
associates in the store, and there's no other store in this city that you're going to go and get that. You're not. Not that there's anything wrong with that type of business, but you know, clients like to come in here, interact with us personally, and that's kind of like what distinguishes us from everybody else.
And did you have any celebrities purchasing from your store?
Oh, many celebrities. Many celebrities. You know, we've had, oh my gosh, you know, we've had Ryan Gosling.
Really?
He
Right
loves.
in the store.
Oh yeah, he loves to shop here. Kate Blanchett.
Wow.
What's the gentleman's name who plays Aquaman?
Aquaman.
Jason
with
Momoa.
long hair.
Jason Momoa. He loves Rick Owens. Oh, we've had some NBA celebrities here. Kid Cudi was here. Tyler the Creator was here. The list goes on, you know.
Wow, wow.
Not so much over the last year just because of traveling. And, but, you know, when Toronto and the borders are open and people are here, they're filming a video or they're filming a movie or they're doing a concert, they like to come here.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And what's your vision for the future of Area 001?
Just keep building our vision. Our vision for the future at Area 001 is just to keep building client relationships and keep building our brands and just to work with the best.
Okay, so what do you love the most about your business?
The fact that I can build my business around my personal life, my personal life or my business, the fact that I have that freedom, that's the great thing about having, you know, your own business, being an entrepreneur, is that you have that absolute freedom. You don't have anybody telling you, you know, what to do, when to come in, when to start work, when to end work, and that's the most, you know, rewarding part of it.
And what do you hate the most?
Nothing.
Nothing. What about you, Sergio?
What do I like the most?
Love the most and hate the most?
The one thing I love the most about Area 001 is the fashion. I love the fashion. I love fashion.
And do you hate anything about this business?
I don't really hate anything about this business, but sometimes there's brands you want to work with and you want to work with them right away, but it takes time. It takes time to develop those relationships. So if there's one thing that I wish I could speed up is the ability to work with future brands.
Have you ever thought about creating your own fashion brand?
No. We've thought about collaborating in the future with other brands, doing a drop, doing like a hoodie, doing a t-shirt, doing a special collection, but you know, we like working with these brands and we want to focus on these brands. I don't want to create my own brand. You know, to me, Area 001 is its own brand. So, you know, we can work with any of these and we can collaborate with any of these brands. I'd rather focus on that.
And I think I already know the answer to this question, but still, path or result? Journey or result?
Journey. Journey.
And why?
You know, like I've always said this, it's all about the path and how you get there. It's what builds strength, it's what builds experience, it's what builds character. And to be honest with you, I don't think when you mention path or result, I don't think result is reality, because result is there's never an end point. There's always an evolution, there's always better, more that you can do. Like with our business, there's never going to be a result. There's always going to be the journey and going forward.
Like milestones.
Yeah.
And if you were to start your 001 from the beginning again, would you do anything differently?
It's a good question. You know, you really can't answer that question. It's a tough one to answer. I don't think I would change anything.
What about you, Jacob?
No, I have to agree with Sergio on that. Is just because in this type of business, it is all about, you know, making predictions and guesses. And when you are starting out, there's no such thing as a right or a wrong. It's just if you make mistakes, you just got to learn from them. And it doesn't matter how we'd start this over again, you'd still make mistakes from the very beginning.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What would be your advices to 20 years old yourselves?
Oh, just to keep going and to keep experimenting and to keep trying new things and not to get discouraged, because eventually it's going to work out.
What about you, Jacob?
To be honest with you, like, you know, I'm 39 and I look at myself, you know, when I was 20, And to be honest with you, I don't really see much of a difference in terms of work ethic, in terms of drive and all those types of things. I think that I would never offer myself any type of advice, because I think all the wisdom and everything I've gained over the past 19 years, I think it's just been so valuable that I wouldn't want to tell myself that ahead of time. You know, I'd rather just kind of learn it as I go along. I'll show you guys Latian. This is both one of our personal favorites in store. It's an essentials brand from Los Angeles. Everything is produced in LA, it's fabric sourced in LA. And it is just the perfect essential brand. These guys don't go out and do anything else. They just focus to what they're great at. And that's exactly what it is. They do fantastic pop colors like this pistachio for this season. Fantastic prints like this really nice mauve and navy tie-dye. You know, they have a print like this called the ombre print. So with this collection, we're going to do a lot of matching tops and bottoms and tracksuits. It's perfect for the times right now because everybody wants to be comfortable. Everybody wants to be in a hoodie and a sweatpants. So this is one of our absolute favorite collections in the store.
So would you say that it's trend right now during the COVID period, that tracksuits, active style?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And the great thing about, you know, fashion conscious clients is that they can actually wear this as a tracksuit, or what they can do, that can dress this up, because there's no reason why you can't take a pant like this and then pair it with a really cool oversized fashion sweater or a button-down shirt and wear a nice formal coat with it and a pair of like lace-ups or a pair of sneakers, right? So it kind of has that versatility element to it as well.
People want to be comfortable.
So that's the focus, right?
Yeah, people want to be comfortable no matter what they do, whether they go to the office or go out at night. They want to feel comfortable.
Yeah, and that's it. And like I said, look what I'm wearing. I'm wearing pretty much all Marni today, and I'm so comfortable I can be doing gymnastics in this. Not that I'd ever do gymnastics, but.
I'm wearing a full Marni outfit, this beautiful hoodie. Incredible piece. It's sold out in 3 days. One of my favorites.
How many units did you have?
Oh, we had quite a few units, but you know,
6.
whenever these guys put out hoodies, they just sell right away.
Nice. All right, so
Come to Rick Owens.
Another one of our personal favorite brands, Rick Owens. So we've worked with Rick Owens from the very, very beginning. And a brand that's a little bit more personal to us, because Sergio and I have been big fans of Rick Owens probably for about 10 years. So Rick is an American designer, and he operates out of Paris, designs out of Paris right now. So it's definitely more on the high fashion side, a little more avant-garde. Colors usually you're going to see are going to be darker colors, you know, like dust, for example. Rick is known for muted dust and black. So everybody knows Rick for black, so that's how we buy the collection. You're going to see, you know, a lot of elongated lengths. That's what Rick is known for, elongated lengths, more oversized silhouettes, and the highlight, which is a classic Rick Owens high top sneaker, which is what I'm
footwear.
wearing. Yeah, Sergio gets one every season. I get one every single season. It's probably one of the most, you know, popular fashion sneakers in the world.
So would you say this is the most expensive brand that you have?
It is among one of the most expensive brands that we have. For example, if you're going to look at this bomber, you're looking probably about $1,800 for something like this.
Show them the back. Show them the detail.
Yeah. Rick doesn't do a lot of graphics. It's very minimal for him, so it's hardly ever logos. This season they did something like that, and you know, and it's in true Rick fashion where you're going to see something that's his logo, but in a very kind of abstract kind of way.
And what's the price for this?
This you're looking at about $1,800. You know, a pair of joggers like this is going to go for about $700. If you're going to look at one of, you know, Rick's jersey T-shirts, you're looking at about $425 for this. And you know, Rick has created a culture within himself where he has a very close connection to his clients. So for them, price is not so much an issue because you're not buying into a T-shirt. You're buying into Rick Owens as a culture, and you are part of this kind of like group where everybody recognizes themselves. And Sergio and I have had countless moments where we walk somewhere and we see somebody else wearing Rick Owens, and you're kind of walking, and it's kind of like that moment, like you nod, like, oh, you're part of the
A lot of
the clique.
a lot of celebrities love Rick Owens.
So
You know.
So would you say this brand it create community?
Oh
Big
yeah,
time.
absolutely.
Big time.
So, and-
Yeah, it does. When you go to Fashion Week, you will see people that wear Rick Owens gather together as friends. It's kind of like,
It's almost like a cult.
yeah, it is almost like a cult in that kind of way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, but you've had everybody, you know, from your favorite rappers wearing it. You know, even Kobe Bryant used to love.
Everybody
Owens.
from finance guys to tech entrepreneurs to very, very fashion forward people to actors, singers, you name it. Yeah.
So at the end of each episode, we ask our guest to present something to our viewers for the best question that they're gonna ask under this video. So
Yes.
is there is anything you would
Absolutely.
like to present?
So what I would like to present to the person out there who is going to ask the best question to AREA+001, I'd like to bring you over to this collection over here, Insomniac Ltd. We're the only ones in Toronto to have it. It's from Los Angeles. It's all made in Los Angeles. Incredible quality. Feel the quality.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Very nice stuff. So whoever it is out there, come on by AREA+001 and we'll take care of you.
All right. So guys, please leave your questions to AREA+001. Either Sergio or Jacob, they're gonna answer this question, and you're gonna get this beautiful shirt,
Or one of them.
or one of them.
Yeah, come on by. We'll see what's here. It might be gone.
All right, that's it for this episode.
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you so much for this.
Amazing.
Appreciate it,
Amazing.
guys.
Thank you. Great having you guys here.